Hi, I wasn't sure if it was going or not. Today is Tuesday's lesson, which the date would be on your papers March 30th. This is lesson 137 in your math, and your paper pages are 273 and 274. Today would normally be a review day. There's nothing that we're learning that's new today. So I'm going to go over just a few things with you and we'll practice together. As far as your flashcards, make sure you do those extra speed drills in your homework so that you can kind of keep up with the other flashcards. Let's go ahead and review our double digit addition with carrying. And again, if your answer is a single digit answer, we'll just do like we used to do. We just put it down. We just write it. If it said 3 plus 3, 6, you would put the 6 in the ones place. But it doesn't. It says 7 plus 4. And what family did we learn 7 and 4 together in? Yeah, 11. Okay, so put the 1 in the ones place. Carry the 1 to the tens place. 1 plus 1, 2. 2 plus 3, 5. Put the 5 in the tens place. 51. Make sure you're saying this just like we would in class, okay? Say it with me on the computer there. 56 plus 25. I'm never going to make you memorize that. Thank goodness, right? So look at your little baby combination here in the ones place. 6 plus 5, 11. Put the 1 in the ones place. Carry the 1 to the tens place. 1 plus 5, 6. 6 plus 2, 8. Put the 8 in the tens place. 81. I hope you're able to say those answers before I do. The next thing we're going to review is our greater than, less than sign. Remember, it's the same sign, okay? Looks like this, or he's turned around and it looks like this. But we read this way, from left to right. That's how we read. So you will always, when you go to read it, you will always read the first number first. But before you read it, you have to look for, remember our little guy here, he's a bird that looks like a bird beak there. He's a bird that thinks he's a pig. So he always wants to face or eat the bigger number. So when you look at your numbers, 143, 134, you can see here the hundreds place is the same. That doesn't help us. 4 bundles of 10, 3 bundles of 10. We can see right away the bird would want to eat 143. So that's the side we start our pencil on, down and back. That means he's facing to eat that number like that, okay? But when we read this direction. So we read this number first. Read it with me. 143 is greater than, because we're seeing that big open part, 134. 143 is greater than 134. Let's look at the next set. We have 105, 150. Hundreds place, 1, 1. That doesn't help us. Tens place, 0, 5. That helps us. We know 5 bundles of 10 is more than 0 bundles of 10. So we know right away that 150 is our bigger number. It's our greater number. So we're going to start our pencil on that side. Since that's the one the bird's going to want to eat, we go down and back. But notice when we read left to right, we're seeing that small little point first. And of course, we start reading with the first number because that's the way we read for that direction. So we say 105 is less than 150. We read it depending on which way he's faced. If we see his that open area first as we read left to right, we say greater than. If we see the little point when we're reading left to right and we see that first, we say less than. Last one, 213, 203. We can see that the hundreds place both have 2 bundles of 100. That doesn't help us. We go to the tens place. It has 1 bundle of 10, 0 bundles of 10. We know that 213 would be our greater number. So we start our pencil on that side, down and back. But as we're reading, we start over here, reading left to right. We're seeing that bigger part open first. So we say, read it with me, 213 is greater than 203. Very good. I hope you were able to say that with me. The last thing I want to review a little bit on is our story problems. I'm going to read a story problem to you. I'm going to pause just a minute, and then we'll write it on the board, and we'll talk about it. Alex pitched 11 balls during his baseball game. 3 of the balls were strikes. How many balls were not strikes? So what we want to find out is the other number, don't we? We know that our all number was how many baseballs were pitched. That's 11. Well, subtraction starts with all. There were all 11 balls pitched. 3 of them were strikes, so we know one of the numbers in our 11 family is a 3. What's the missing number? 11 minus 3. Good, 8. I hope you said that. 11 minus 3 is the other number, 8. Since they told us that there were 11 baseballs thrown, 3 of them were strikes, we want to know how many were not strikes. Okay, so we're just finding the missing number. What goes with the 3 in our 11 family, or knowing that 11 minus 3 is the other number, 8. Here's another one. Dad found 7 snails and 5 worms while working in the garden. How many creatures did Dad find? Now, we're not hearing the words in all or altogether. That's what we're used to hearing when we want to know how many creatures. But even though they're not using those words in all or altogether, we're starting to figure out that if he found 7 snails and 5 worms, and they want to know how many creatures there are, we're going to put those snails and worms together, all together. We're going to find out how many creatures there are in all, even though the story didn't say those words. So, how many snails were there? There were 7 snails. How many worms were there? There were 5 worms. And we know that 7 snails and 5 worms are creatures that when we put them all together, we know 7 and 5 go together in our 12 family. So the answer to that story problem would be 12 creatures all together in that story. All right. Well, you are going to be working on pages 273 and 274, doing speed drill number 2 today on the one that's in your remote folder, not the homework one. The homework one's always going to be just a black and white copy, but the one for class will have that color and the pictures on it. So you're doing speed drill number 2 today. Keep up with your flashcards on those speed drills. Practice your 12 family while we're gone. When we come back, we'll have that down pat. All right, we'll see you, and I'll be making the next video soon.